All right, so for problem number 13, we're going to do, I like doing this kind of round robin thing. I'm going to point to you, ask you what we do, and that's what we're going to do. And you're first. What do we do first? Or do you want me to start over there? Okay, you're first. What's the first thing we do for problem number 13?
Distribute.
What am I distributing?
-5.
Ah, you caught yourself. That's right. We are going to distribute a -5. All right, you're next. I don't want to say any names. Hey, you, look up. There's nobody behind you. You. What is -5 times 7?
A lot.
Yeah.
-35.
-35. That's okay if you need a second to figure it out. Then I'm going to multiply -5 by -2x. You, what is that? Get a calculator if you need it. -5 times -2x. Positive 10x. Very good. Thank you. Good job, man. All right. Are you guys writing all this down? You need to write this down. I'm going to collect this for a grade. How do you think I know you're not writing it down? I'm looking right at you. Write this down. I know you guys are mesmerized by my teaching. It's true. I get caught up in me sometimes. Sometimes I look in the mirror as I go to walk out the door, and I just stare at myself, and I go, man, they are not ready for this. All right. Anyways, everything else comes down. Okay. Now it's your turn. What do I do next?
Add the things together.
Add the things together. So here, I'm going to make a suggestion. You tell me how to do it. I want to, she's right, I want to move this x over here. And that would put my x's together. That is technically a positive 1x. So how do I move that? Well, not your turn yet.
What?
How do I move that 1x over to the other side? I got to do math. Do I multiply, divide, add, subtract? Subtract what? Well, I want to move the x with it. I can't subtract 1 from 1x, but can I do this? What will that add up to? 0, right? If I have 1x in my hand, you guys all pay attention. Hey, you two, look over here. Look on the screen. Make sure you're learning. If I have 1x in my hand and I take 1x away, what do I have left in my hand? No x's. 0, zilch, nada. Okay? But remember, whatever I do on one side of the equal sign, I have to do to the other. So this becomes 9x. Everything else pretty much stays the same. So I've got a positive 1 here and a -35 plus 9x. Okay? Why did I put a plus sign instead of the 1? This is just a 1. All right. You're next. What do I do next? Add 35 to both sides. This guy's a genius. 35 minus 35 is 0. What's 1 plus 35? 36. Very good. Okay, you're next. I need to get the 9 away from the x. 9x means 9 times x. To move the 9, what do I do? You got it. Divide by 9, he says, with confidence. All right. 36 divided by 9 is 4. I don't know why I have this little squiggly line here. It makes it look like it's equal to, but it's not. So then my final answer is x. Well, 4 is greater than x. Or you could write it this way. X is less than 4, right? Now, I've taught this a couple different ways. essentially, notice that, and you could do it this way. You could say the alligator's opening its mouth on 4. Or you could say it's pointing to the X. If you look over here, the alligator's opening its mouth on 4. Right? Were you ever taught that?
Yeah.
So you think of this as like an alligator. Those are the teeth of the alligator. And then this is the alligator. Whoops. This is the alligator. I think even some elementary school textbooks will have it looking like an alligator, right? That's goofy. That's a perfectly drawn alligator. How dare you insult my artistic abilities? It was cute. Thanks. I appreciate that. Anyways, that's what that is, okay? Let's move on to the next one now that you guys are so smart. Okay, I'm not sure where I left off. Who's next? You are. You got this one. I know it looks hard because it has a fraction, but I'm going to help you, okay? We're on 14. The fraction is not fun, yes? It's not fun at all. So, if I have 5/3, I'm going to rewrite this because I'm going to need the space, times the quantity 6x plus 3 is less than or equal to 2x minus 7. And I notice that I put a little space there. Let's put this in parentheses. To get rid of this 3 here that's in the denominator, I need to multiply the whole inequality by 3. Now, this is technically a 1 here. All right? Well, you know what? We don't need to do that way. Don't write the parentheses. I'm just adding an extra step when I don't need to. Write it like this. Now, this 3 gets multiplied by this. 3 times 5 is 15 over 3 times the quantity 6x plus 3 is less than or equal to 2. Oh, wait. It's not 2. Right? I got to multiply. Now, I only have to multiply it by one of the factors. This is a factor. Okay? This is a factor, and this is a factor on the left-hand side of the inequality. So I only need to multiply it by the first factor. But I need to multiply it by 2x. Will you get the door real quick? So what's 3 times 2x? Hey, you. What's 3 times 2x? 6x. All right. Now, what's 3 times negative 7? You. Negative 21. All right. Now, we still have a fraction, but that's okay. You. What's 15 divided by 3?
5.
Yeah. So this becomes 5 times 6x plus 3 is less than or equal to 6x minus 21. I'm going to zoom in a little bit because I'm going to run out of space soon. Okay. All right. You are next. What do you think we need to do next? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely correct. We're going to distribute the 5 through the parentheses. 5 times 6x is what? You. 30. That's half right.
35, 25.
No. 5 times 6 is 30, but it's 5 times 6x. So what is that? 30x. Thank you. Very good. Okay, you're up next. 5 times positive 3. 15.
Come on.
You're not feeling the best today, huh? 6x minus 21. Yeah, I don't want to hear your life story. Just pay attention and do math. Okay. So now I'm going to help you guys out because I'm running out of space. I'm going to subtract 6x from here. And then I'm going to subtract 15 from both sides. when you do that, and I'm going to have to write over here really small, this becomes 24x. Okay, 24x is less than negative 36. So then you divide by 24, divide by 24. These cancel. And my answer is going to be x is less than, what is that, negative 36. So if I say negative and I enter in the fraction, whoops, let's do math. And I enter in the fraction 36 over 24. 3/2 is what it reduces down to. See what I did there? So then I get x is less than negative 3/2. And I apologize in advance for it being such a tight fit there, but it is what it is. Any questions on that?
No.
All right, let's move on to the next one. You guys are doing great. All right, what's not so fun about number 15?
Fraction.
Fraction, for sure. So how do I get rid of the fraction? Yes, by what though? By the denominator. Very good, you guys. So I'm going to take this whole thing and I'm going to multiply this by 3 because that's the denominator. Now the trick for this is I'm going to multiply this by this. So what's 3 times 2x? 6x. Very good. And then I got it. Now I have 2 factors here. Yes? So what? It's okay. You can sharpen the pencil. It's fine. Do I multiply it by every factor or just one of the factors? Just one. I was asking somebody else, but you're correct. So I'm going to multiply only this. What's 3? And you just multiply it by the numerator. So what's 3 times 2? 6. So it's negative 6 over 3, right? Everything else stays the same for now. 4x plus 4. All right. Well, what is, this stays the same. What is negative, what's 6 divided by 3? Everybody's tired and yawning. Oh, no. You guys need coffee. This lesson was brought to you by, oh, wrong side, Yeti. Okay. Hey, you still haven't answered my question. What's 6 divided by 3? You.
2.
Yeah, but you're not him.
I'm him. I am him.
No, you're not.
I am him.
All right. No, you're going to get another go.
I'm him.
You be quiet.
I'm him.
All right. Now what do we do? Don't, you be quiet. You got it. What do we normally do when there's a number in front of the parentheses? Yeah. There you go. Now you're cooking with gas. All right, you. What's negative 2 times 4x? Oh, now you don't know, right? This kid. No, that's okay. I'm recording all this. So, oh, you're half right. Negative 8. You're still half right.
X. Negative 8x.
Negative 8x. Good. All right. You're up next. Negative 8 times positive 4 is, or I said the answer, dang it. Negative 2 times positive 4 is, what kind of 8? No, it's a negative. Remember, this negative gets multiplied with it. So, and let me show you guys this too, and I say it all the time, you can't just guess. Positive and negative numbers are a problem for people. I sometimes put the wrong thing down. If you want to get an A on the test, take 3 seconds. Wait, clear this out. Somebody get a stopwatch. I'll do it. Watch
I
this.
got you.
Get a stopwatch. Okay. Ready, set, go. -2 times 4. Done. How long was that?
30 seconds.
It wasn't 30 seconds.
4.
It was 4 seconds. Take 4 seconds. Make sure you got the right answer, because it doesn't make a difference, right? If I put a +8, I'm going to get the wrong answer. So take your time, especially on the test. All right? So now the rest of this is the same. Okay, what do we need to do? Very good. We're going to add 8x. In other words, we're going to try to get all the x's on one side of the inequality symbol. These will cancel. I get 14x over here. Almost forgot the x. Mr. Adams, you could do better than that. 14x. And then I got -8 over here. Now, that seems a little hokey pokey.
No, it doesn't.
Well, it's not an even thing, but what do I do next? We're on you again.
Divide 14x by 14.
Is that all?
And do it to the other side too.
Very good. So then I get x is less than -8 over 14. Is that the simplest form? No, it is not. I can find the simplest form by doing this. Ready? Nothing up my sleeve. Grab your calculators, turn them on. Turn them on. Watch this. So I have currently the fraction. Remember how to get a fraction? How do I get a fraction? Can you tell me? Math, and then what? Not y equals. No. No.
Enter.
You have to go all the way over here to the fraction menu, and then you choose the first one.
You go.
Then I'm going to put, was it 18 over 14? So we always want our fractions in simplest terms. You should do this with every time you have a fraction for an answer, and the calculator automatically simplifies it. What's the simplest form? -4/7. Very good. Thank you for remembering the negative. So this whole thing gets reduced down to -4/7. I'm going to write that in here. And that's the answer for that one. Now let's do number 16. I'm going to write this out because we're going to need to do some math. So I'm going to say 1/2 times the quantity -2x minus 10 is greater than 3 times 4 minus 6x. Now, what do you think we could do? This is anybody can answer. We're not going to do round robin anymore. I want you guys, we're going to kind of brainstorm on this one. What do you think we should do?
Do the fraction thing. I forgot what it's called.
Okay. So we could multiply by the denominator to get the fraction to go away, but you know what I was thinking? You could distribute the 3. What's 1/2 of 2?
Oh, 1.
What's 1/2 of 10?
5.
Can't we just push that through?
Yeah.
That one works. That one's pretty easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the distributive property. So what's 1/2 of -2x? Take a guess.
-1.
-1x. What's 1/2 of -10? -5. See how easy that was? What's 3 times 4? 12. What's 3 times -6x? -18x. Okay? Now, back to round robin. We're going to reverse the order. What do I do first? Combine like terms. So how do I do that? You tell me what you want me to do first.
Negative 1x is negative 18.
All right. So how do I do that?
You raise the negative 1x.
Yeah. How do I do that?
And we subtract.
No. Yeah.
Add 1x. Now, technically what you're saying is not wrong. You could think of it, you are subtracting, but what are you subtracting? Negative 1x, right? When you minus a minus, what's it become? Plus, right? So you're not wrong. Okay, so we do the math on that. This cancels. I get negative 5 is greater than 12. What's negative 18 plus 1? Now, if you don't know off the top of your head, what do? Plug it into a calculator. So I'm going to say negative 18 plus 1. Negative 17. Negative 17x, technically. Okay? Now what do I do? You're next. I don't want to say any names.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, Red Hat, sir.
Excuse me, that.
Excuse me, Red Hat. What do we do next? We've got all the x's on one side. What do you think we need to do next? In other words, I got to start getting this x by itself, so I either move the 17 or the 12. Which one do we do first? 12. It's a positive 12, so how do I move it over? Minus 12. Very good. See? These cancel. I get negative 17. Hey, wait, what a coinky dink. But there's a trick to this one. Is greater than 17x. So what do? We divide by negative 17. What's the special rule when we multiply or divide by a negative number? No, there's a little rule that we do. You got to flip the symbol. So negative 17 is 1. Negative 17 divided by negative 17 is 1. I've got to flip the symbol, and then this becomes x. So that's one way you could do it. You're going to end up with 1 is less than x, or x is greater than 1. So those are your two answers. So you got to remember to flip the symbol. They mean two separate, completely different things. How are we doing on time? I think we could finish these last two. You guys are pretty smart. What time do we get out of here? 50. Yeah, we could finish these two. All right, so now what do I do here? This one looks like a lot of work. What's the first step? Oh, we're going out of order. I'll start back over here. First step. Well, we weren't for that problem, but we're going back to it. Yes? Distribute the 2. Okay, next. Oops, wrong thing here. U. 2 times 10. Very good. Next one, U. I need nicknames for you. Stop, you guys. No, because then somebody will say, oh, you mentioned a student. I don't have a student named Kelly. Joe. 2 times 2x. Hey, 2 times 2x. U. 2 times 2x. What'd you say? I didn't hear you because you said. Say it loudly. Okay. And then we tack on the plus 3 over here. Everything else over here stays the same. All right. U. What do you think we could do next?
Plus 3x.
I mean, there's nothing against it. Let's try it. Add 3x. So we're maneuvering to get all the x's on one side. All right. So these cancel. I'm left with negative 5 over here is greater than or equal to 20 plus 7x. 4 plus 3x is 7x plus 3. What do you think we should do? What's funny is I take a drink of my coffee, then I take a drink of water. You don't know what's confusing you. There's something that's a little different. Well, that's an option. Just say what you think you might do. Well, I have the x here, so we want x on one side and all the other stuff on the other side. So I got to move something away from the x. No, not yet, and you wouldn't minus the 7 because you can't subtract 7 from 7x. Could minus 3. Does that seem okay? One person suggested that you combine like terms. Now, combining like terms, 20 plus 3 would be 23, and then we could subtract 23 from both sides. But if you don't think of that and you say you'll get the same answer, you just subtract 3 from both sides. Okay. These cancel, and now I've got negative 8 is greater than or equal to 20 plus 7x. Remember, our goal is to make it look like x equals some stuff. And the way that you do that is you do the inverse. So in other words, I want to move stuff away from the x. So I can move the 20 or I can move the 7. What do you want to move?
The 20.
How do I do that?
Minus 20.
Very good. I subtract 20 from both sides, and I get negative 28 is greater than or equal to 7x. Okay? Okay, you're up next, purple hat. What do I do to get x all by its lonesome? And whatever I do on one side, I got to do to the other. I don't have a nickname for you yet. What do I do next? What's negative 28 divided by 7? He's using his calculator. I like that. That's good. He's making sure he has the right answer. He's not blurting it out.
Mr. Adams, do you like grape soda?
Negative 4.
I actually do. I do like grape soda, but the problem is it's got a lot of sugar in it.
I like
Okay.
Grape juice from school.
I love grape juice. Okay, let's finish this problem first. So how else could if I wanted to put the x over here and the negative 4 over here, what does my symbol got to do? Which way does it point?
The point.
Or towards what?
The point.
You want me to write it like this?
Oh, towards that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you gotta kind of like flip it in your head so it matches up. So now technically they're both the same thing, but whoops, that's not right. I don't want that. Technically they're both the same answer, but we tend to like the second one more because it says x is less than 4. When we go to graph it, we tend to graph it that way. Okay. Something about negative 4 is greater than x is just kind of weird for people. All right, one more, we could do it. Oh, sorry. You're zoning out over there. Are you done? Is everybody done? All right. We're almost done, you guys. One last problem. Okay, who did I leave off on? Who is last? Oh, yeah, red hat. What do I do on this one? No, red hat, it's you. What do I do first? Yes, sir. Oh, I do that every time. So we're going to distribute the negative 3 through the parentheses u. Negative 3 times 9x, go. Do it on your calculator if you're not 100% sure. Negative 3 times 9x, but don't put the x in.
Negative 27.
Negative 27 what?
X.
X. All right, negative 3 times positive 20, you go.
Negative 50.
Very good. Is greater than or equal to 15x minus 20. Okay, now what do you want to do? Next person, what should we do? Solve them for x. Get all the x's on one side, all the other stuff on the other.
Don't you
Well, you could, but it's easier if you make that the very last step. We got a lot of steps to go. You could do that. What would be easier right now? You can move the x's or the numbers, but you got to have them on opposite sides of the inequality symbol. You know what I mean by that? The constants or the variables. So let me frame that for you. I can move the 15x over here, or I can move the negative 27x over here. 15. How do I move it? I want to move the whole thing. So do the math in your head. So you have two choices basically. You divide by 15 or you subtract 15x, yes? It's one or the other. I cannot subtract 15 because it's not a like term. I could subtract 15x. What's 15x minus 15x? 0. That eliminates it on this side. But if I were to divide this by 15, what's 15x divided by 15? 1x. So I still have an x on this side. So minusing 15x is what we need to do. Does that make sense? Okay. So you could think that through. I think sometimes you guys just go, oh, I subtract something, and you just, no, do the math. If the math doesn't work out, try the other thing. Boy, this is a big one. Negative 42x, yes? Minus 60 is greater than negative 20. All right, you're next. What do we do?
Plus 60.
Yep. Add 60 to both sides. These cancel, and I get negative 42 is greater than, what's that, positive 40? Yep. Okay, red hat. What do we do next? Oh, wait, this is 42x. I almost forgot. What do we do next? What's that? My handwriting's terrible. We have negative 42x. I want x by itself.
Plus 42.
Well, I can't add 42 because it's not a like term. I'll change my handwriting and see if it helps you do better on the math. What do I want to, let's talk about this. What do I need to move and what do I need to leave? This is not a 7. This is a greater than sign. Well, I need to move the negative 42. What is the negative 42 doing to the x? Mathematically. It's multiplying. So now that I know that 42 is multiplying by x, what do I do to move it? Divide. I'm going to divide by negative 42 because I want to leave the x behind. Whatever I do on one side, I do on the other. But I'm just going to toss this negative in the front. Here's the thing. We're multiplying or dividing by a negative number. So what does that mean? It means we got to flip the symbol. This becomes 1x. I have to flip the symbol, right? And then what about negative 40 over 42? Can that be reduced? Let's see. We're going to say negative math. Go all the way over here. Whoops. Hit enter, and I'm going to say, what was it, 40 over 42? Hey, it's negative 20 over 21. And that is our final answer. Cool, cool, cool. Put your stuff up. Oops, sorry. Did I move that out of your way too quick? There you go. Bell's going to ring in like 10 seconds.